Alright, let's pick NFL Week 5 matchups. Thursday Night Football, Rams versus Seahawks. Seahawks at home. I'm going to give the Rams a win this time. I think the Rams are on a revenge tour after last week's loss against Arizona. I think their defense is better and their offense is better than the Seahawks. And I think it's going to be a close game because the Seahawks at home and they're going to have that 12th man edge. Next, the London game, Jets versus Falcons. I'm going to give this one to the Falcons. I think their offense is going to hold up even though Calvin Ridley's going to be out this week. I don't think the Jets' defense is very good, and that's going to be their problem for them. Next matchup, Packers versus Bengals. Both teams are 3-1. I think the Packers are going to win even though they have a hurt secondary. Just they have too many offensive weapons for the Bengals to handle, so I'm going to give them the win. Next, Vikings versus Lions. Give this win to the Vikings. They didn't look terrible against the Browns, but they didn't look great. But the Lions looked even worse against the Bears last week. So I'm going to give this win to the Vikings. Next, Saints versus Washington football team. Going to give this win to the Washington football team. I think that they're going to hold up against the Saints because the Saints offense hasn't looked too great, but the Washington football team somehow figures out ways to win games. Next, Patriots versus Texans. This one goes to the Patriots. Rookie QB for the Texans, and the Texans pretty much just look flat out awful. I think Bill Belichick's going to have a field day with them. Next, Dolphins versus Bucks. Tom Brady has a little bit of trouble with the Dolphins, but I think they managed to scrape out a win. A little bit of a lopsided victory for them. Next, Steelers versus Broncos. Both teams that kind of play down to their competition, but Big Ben is looking not that great this year. I think this might be his last year, and I still think the Broncos are going to win this game. There's some truth to their 3-1 record, a little bit, but give them the win. I think that their offense could maybe bounce back no matter who their quarterback is. Eagles versus Panthers. Give this one to the Panthers. They have a pretty good defense. It's a little bit slept on. They're going to have a pretty good secondary. Hopefully they have like 3 first-round top 10 picks in their secondary when they're healthy and good to go. But that'll be later in the season when we can see them all play. But even right now, the Eagles, their problem isn't Jalen Hurts. It looks like it's their defense holding up against other teams. And Sam Darnold's not looking too bad this year. So let's give this to the Panthers. Titans versus Jags. Even though the Titans lost to the Jets last week in overtime, I don't see them losing to another defeated team. The Jags look pretty bad. Trevor Lawrence is looking okay when Urban Meyer's not in control of him. So let's give this one to the Titans. Give them a win. They really need this one. Bears versus Raiders. Going to give this one to the Raiders. Raiders pass rush this year is pretty good. Their secondary, a little questionable like always, but I think their offense is pretty good and their pass rush is pretty good. Against a rookie QB, he's going to struggle a little bit like he did earlier in the year. Next, Chargers versus Browns. Myles Garrett's been looking pretty good, but I don't think it's enough to keep up with the Chargers, who are going to win another game this year, move them up to 4-1. I think their offense is too explosive for the Browns to handle all game. Their defense didn't look half bad against the Raiders last week in prime time, so I'll give them the win. Giants versus Cowboys. Divisional matchup. Going to give this one to the Cowboys. The Cowboys defense didn't look bad this late in the season, but Giants offense hasn't looked bad either. But the Cowboys defense finally picked up some holes that they had last year and seemed to fix them. And their offense is young and healthy, so I'll give this one to the Cowboys. Bills and Chiefs. Oh, this is going to be a good game, probably a matchup of the week. The Bills, Josh Allen looked like an MVP caliber quarterback. Chiefs struggling a little bit this season, playing a little bit too much of backyard football to bail them out. Going to give this one to the Bills. Going to say that their defense holds up for this game against the Chiefs. Going to give them the win. We got the 49ers versus Cardinals. This one's going to be rough because the 49er QB situation is a little bit questionable. You either have a hurt Jimmy G, or you have a new quarterback in Trey Lance, probably still trying to figure out the system against the Cardinals team who just beat the Rams. So this one's going to be tough. I'm going to have to, let's just say the 49ers defense holds up, beats Kyler Murray. Nick Bosa has a sack. Give this one to the Niners. No bias there. And Monday Night Football, you got the Colts versus Ravens. Going to give this one to the Ravens. Colts been looking like not a playoff team like they were hoping this year. They really need a win, but too many injuries for them been holding them back, so I give this one to the Ravens. That's a Week 5 NFL matchups.